Hello, this is the Grumpy Old Writing Coach, Jay Greenstein, back with you again. And today, I want to talk to you about my idol. The one character that epitomizes the act of writing. Batman. Now you may laugh, and many people look upon comic book writing as lesser. Something that people do who don't know how to write very well. But it's demanding and an excellent way of presenting a story. For one thing, if you look at the speech balloons of the standard comic books, take away the pictures, just copy down the speech balloons, you'll find what's wrong with the vast majority of what's turned out by hopeful writers. It will read like a report. And the reason that it does that is because it depends on the pictures that you are looking at to show the emotion, the backgrounds, the situation, and everything that's necessary in addition to the bare facts of this is what he said, this is what they said, this is what happened. Matter of fact, a graphic novel would be even better for doing that because it includes a lot of the stuff that comic books are limited to, more speech balloons. But be that as it may, the comic book, that format, is extremely important because it illustrates what is absolutely necessary when writing a story. And we miss most of that. It starts out, well, let's take someone different. I don't want to infringe on Batman, so let's take Atomic Wedgie Man. Now, Atomic Wedgie Man is a superhero. His particular superpower is to give wedgies to criminals, of course. And he is doing his thing as we open the story, and he is capturing the various criminals who never seem to catch on that he is Atomic Wedgie Man, and they can't beat him. And their behavior is predictable, as is his, until, this is the key, he comes upon the criminal that does not fit the standard, anything expected. This criminal can do things or arrange for things in a way that our hero, Wedgie Man, didn't anticipate. And so what happens? He comes upon him, they have a confrontation, and Wedgie Man loses. Make no mistake, he loses. He has to withdraw, or is left hanging from a tree, but he's lost. And so what happens then? Wedgie Man must now lick his wounds, so to speak. He has to stop and think about what went wrong and how to go about doing it. And basically, what I just described is a scene in your novel. There is the inciting incident. Tension increases, until you've reached almost melodramatic level. Bringing the intensity up any further would make it ludicrous. So, either our protagonist must win or lose to end the scene. And that's pretty standard. That is the way every scene progresses. If you don't keep building the tension, it'll get boring. If you think back to any movie that you've seen where there was a sword fight in it, if they just went on fighting with swords for a half hour, you'd say, I'll be back in a minute, and go out to the kitchen and get some coffee or whatever you want from the kitchen and come back, and they'd still be going at it, and you would be bored. So it has to keep getting more intense. And once it does reach that terrible level of where you're going to start laughing at them, bang, we end it. So Atomic Wedgie Man has now left. He may be wounded. He may just be psychologically set back. That's a scene. And now we enter what's called the sequel, scene and sequel. That's where the protagonist licks their wound, decide what they should do again, and sets forth again. And that's a new scene. And there will be another inciting incident, and tension will increase and keep increasing, and he loses again. And it happens over and over again. He tries everything. And as he does, Atomic Wedgie Man is running out of options. Okay? He's in more danger than he was before. There are fewer options than there were before. He's not quite sure what to do. And yet he continues, because it's his nature to keep trying. It's why we like him. I mean, obviously, if he gave up and said, screw that, and walked away, who would read the second episode, or the second comic book? So in his nature, just as the nature of our protagonist is, they have reason to hang around. It may be, well, if our protagonist is a man, it may be a woman, or vice versa. It might be danger to the city. It might be something he believes in. It might be something he doesn't believe in and refuses to acknowledge. But he or she will keep on going as tension raises. And of course, before it gets to ludicrous levels, we have to either win or lose. So we head towards the climax. And Atomic Wedgie Man, again, battle, loss, losing in new and different ways, but nonetheless, he is lost. And it's getting frustrating. And as I said, there comes a point where anybody with any sense would say, screw it. A guy could get killed doing this. I'm out of there. But he can't. He can't. He must go on. And finally, we come to what's called the black moment, and then the climax. And the black moment is that time at which all hope is lost. We know we don't stand a chance, but we cannot give up. And when that happens, poetic justice takes place. The reader, who we have brought into the point where they are feeling as if this is their battle, they're doing it, they're in this. We can't have our hero die. I mean, if we did, that's the point at which they throw the book against the wall, or the comic book against the wall. So at that point, we unveil our protagonist's true and only secret weapon: dumb luck. It's true. I know there are people laughing, but it's true. This is when the protagonist must snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. It's when Atomic Wedgie Man, who is in terrible trouble, who cannot possibly survive, notices a piece of chain laying on the floor, a bit of sand, or something, some connection, that he says, I will or can do that. Or perhaps it's an admission that the thing he has always said, I will never do, is okay in this situation. And so in this case, Atomic Wedgie Man spots a piece of underwear protruding from the back of our villain's pants as he is about to murder our poor Atomic Wedgie Man. A reach, a pull, and victory. The climax. And that is as true in any novel that you will write as it is in any comic book that you will buy. And what happens after the victory? then we find out what the prize is. It may be that our hero is together with the one they love. It may be that they get special powers from the gods as a reward for that. It can be almost anything, but it has to be something that they will cherish and that we as readers go, right, that's exactly what should have happened. Yay for them. Does that make sense? Because comic books, whatever you want to say about them, they epitomize the plot over everything else. It is pared down to nothing but functioning plot, pulling the reader along, making them care, and making them cheer when we reach the climax, and poetic justice is honored, and we're victorious. If only life worked that way. Well, we can hope, and we can keep on going, and perhaps, with a little bit of dumb luck, we will prevail. So, that's it for today. The Grumpy Old Writing Coach, signing off. Thank you. See you next time.